morning, good morning. It is a new week and hopefully start of a good one. So, apologies about Friday. Again, I still haven't been getting very good sleep, and that's causing other issues to pop up, like bad headaches and stuff. So Friday I was feeling pretty miserable. So while I had intended to stream Friday, it just didn't work out that way. Getting all choked up about it. But we're back, so let's see if we can pick up where we left off. As you can see, I haven't really been doing much outside the stream. I just get sidetracked with other stuff. Wow. And haven't really been making it back into the game as much as I would like, or as much as I have been in the past. So I haven't even gotten this prepared like I wanted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and quickly save these trees. Get me a Word document up as well. Oh, come on, move over there. Great to have dual monitors, but it gets really confusing with all these different tabs I have going on. So before I get rid of some of these trees, I like how a lot of them turned out. So I want to, oops, I just did that, didn't I? I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to keep them for later. Hey Rudy, haven't seen you in a long time. How you been doing? So I'm going to set them up in here real quick, but I'm going to move them over to a document file just so that I can permanently have them. So I'm going to do the share. And let's see. That's good to hear, Rudy. Hey, Poi, good morning. And Faye. Everyone's popping up. Oh, housing stuff. Let's see. Plants. And so this, I'm going to call this like call that tree. All mossy. Haven't played it in ages, huh? Well, depending on how long it's been, there's quite a bit of changes going on. Which reminds me, they just, I guess it was a few days ago, put up the Valentine decor pack. If anybody hasn't realized that yet, you can get that decor pack now. I think it's 3 or 4 plushies, and then the poster bed, and then the heart pillow. If you're looking for some Valentine-y stuff. Okay, so this one's saved, so I guess I can go ahead and create this now. Because I don't think this one suits this particular bit. Excuse me. I'm going to go ahead and save this one too. If I can remember what flower is the mama of that. where is he? Is that the whole? I'm missing that branch. I can sneak in there. Okay, so with that clear. We'll call that the yellow flower tree. Now this one I think we'll go ahead and use, but I'm going to move it off of here for now. So we'll just push this off to the side. I'll probably end up moving it back to this little area, but I'm just going to move it out of the way for now until I get it sorted. Okay, so let's all those to this. Okay, here I close. Tree frozen. Okay, I don't want two purple ones, and I kind of prefer this one, I think. I don't know. We'll just, I'll go ahead and move this side as well. I'm undecided on which purple tree I want to use. We'll just push it back. For now. And then this one, click it. Ah, there we go. What is that? The strain tree, I guess. Okay, all of those are sorted, I think. That way, if I accidentally mess them up, I can always recall it later. Or if I copy over it, for whatever reason, it should be good. Yeah. I should switch the parent of that thing. Okay, so let's just move this off to the side as well. Okay, so I'm gonna try and put in some kind of a water feature here today, I think. Just to do something different this morning. And there's lots of ways you can do the water. I think most of the options we've gone over in the past at some point, and you've seen me build a few others. We have obviously the waterfalls that you can use, the winding rivers, the new version of the waterfalls are really popular right now because of the animation that comes with them. Obviously, the newer waterfalls are cash shop as opposed to the old waterfalls and winding rivers being direct from the housing vendor. So some people might not want to invest in that particular route. I think if it's something you're feeling like you're going to be adding to a permanent type of scene or plot or whatever, I think it would be worth getting a hold of some of the newer ones. Because really the animation and stuff on those are so great looking and realistic. It just bumps up those water features that much more. Good morning, Bones. Glad you could join. But for those of you that, like me, that are a little on the cheapskate side, that or just don't want to invest in purchasing those particular decor kits, you find alternative ways to do the water. I think we've shown where you can use the frozen, or is it a frost spores. These are real great if you're not concerned about having the water opaque looking. If you just toss it upside down, it's a bluish color, and you can actually kind of get a little bit of movement. This thing actually kind of pulsates a little bit, so if you bring it up right to the edge and you're paying attention, or if it's like happens to wiggle at the right time, it looks like the water is ebbing and flowing or whatever, kind of moves a little bit. But again, it's a solid type of deal. So if you have plants or you're planning to put fish or something inside there for people to look at, it's not going to be like a traditional water type of thing. But it's a popular one because it's, one, it's got that animation, but two, it's a blue color. Another fave is the Oran Walls. I think it is. I think the reason a lot of people like this one is because of the pebbly kind of texture that comes with it. Obviously, you have to work it so that you hide the edge, the brown edge, but depending on where you're putting it and if you're lining it with rocks or whatever, that's relatively easy to do. This also works good for snow. I've used that in the past for a snow plot. I know it seems kind of silly now because we have so much Arctera stuff and snowy clumps and things like that, but if you're looking for something a little bit different than everybody else's, these work really well. There's the upside down silver chalice, the exotic silver chalice. The trick with that one is it's kind of a world random drop, so getting a hold of them might not be easy depending on supply and demand. And of course the price. I've seen them go as cheap as a few gold and as expensive as 3 or 4 flat. So I think it just really depends on when you catch it. I've had one, maybe two actually drop for me, but it's pretty rare, I think. So I tend not to rely on that too much. If I happen to come across one on the auction house, I snatch it up if it's a good price. And they make great water. They're the ones that we've seen like in the summer, like beach areas where a lot of people have been making some nice island scenes, like some of the tours we saw last week or the week before, I think. The reason folks like it is because the actual bottom of the chalice itself doesn't have any collision. It's a little bit inside. So the bigger you make the chalice bottom, the deeper the water seems, so that it's like you're wading in the water at different levels depending on, again, how big it is. So you can like use one chalice for the entire plot and have this nice deep water effect. You just have to be careful about your camera angle. If you lower it beneath the surface of the glass itself, it'll disappear, so it'll look like there's nothing there. But as long as you stay above the surface of the bottom of the chalice, it looks like some nice clear bluish water. It's really great for beach scenes and everything else, but I've seen it for used for ponds and things like that. Another fave technique is the layered glass. I think you can get away with typically about 3 or 4 layers. You don't want to go too many layers because then it looks more like ice. But again, it's a solid, so you don't actually like wade into the water. It just looks nice, but you can't actually like move around in it like you would want. But like say you want a lot of your pond features or river features or something showing through like the pebbles in the base of the little water feature, having some plants, fish or gators or whatever it is you're wanting to show. Um, that's probably the next best bet besides the silver chalice. Let's see some other stuff. I'm sure there's other blue things like the exile table is a good one. Um, the blue books, those can be used. Um, Probably even the folded shirt, though that's not very easy to get a hold of. And now that we have the color shifting, there's probably some textured bits like maybe uh, other types of materials that you normally wouldn't think of as water, but if you color shift it to a blue shade, it might actually work really well depending on the textures. I mean, I've used even the tops of the orange dressers as water before. Of course, I did that in a painting scenario more than actual practical water, but you get the idea. So I think today we're going to see if there's any of the actual glasses or something that we can use from the vendor. I think this one's been used some. I think the trouble with some of these others is that like this one, if we turn it upside down, it doesn't really show up too much. You could probably color shift it maybe to be a little bit bluer, more like water, I guess. As you can see, you're going to have to size it up quite a bit. And it's really shiny. You know, any kind of light feature like my faux sun, it's going to show up really bright. Let's try this one. It's a little on the cheaper side as far as renown goes. How this looks. It's about the same. I think the only advantage is it's a little bit flatter. Again, you can try changing the color a bit, but it doesn't seem to really make much of a difference. Super shiny, and there is a line on the bottom of this one, something about the texture. So for me, I think I will probably go with the frost spore. I'm not too concerned about having the water actually see through, and I like how the spore itself is already kind of an odd shape. And I want to get away with using just the single spore, so I'm going to try and I want to keep the pathway clear, but still have a nice shape. This checking to see where it's sticking out. You can see the pores popping up. Okay, so that's the start of our little pond. I'd really like it to go a little bit more this way, but I think just because of the shape it is, I don't want to have to use multiple pieces. Because when you start doing that, then you have the trouble of them meeting up exactly, and maybe they have a little funny line kind of thing. So we'll just cover that up with some grasses and stuff. So, yeah, my little example here. Let's see. Don't think I want to. We use a different color stone for the trim of this, just so that it stands out a little bit more from the brown stone that we've been using for all of the layers of the eared bit. And the idea is just I'm cordoning it off so that it's like it's been dug in, and I want it on a different level than this. I'm not gonna get too fancy, just using the simple bits here. Now I could change it up by adding different other types of stones like the swirly stones and things like that, but I'm just going to leave it kind of basic. You can get as fancy as you want. Did everyone have a good weekend? Mine was relatively quiet, thankfully. I hear that, Bones, far too quickly. I hear that. That's the way it always feels, though. Hey, Spaz. Geez. Looks like I'm using two different stones. I guess it's because the one side, the bottom is darker than the other, even though it's actually the same rock. Weird. Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, Spaz. Um, I think it just depends. There's everybody has their interest or focus in WildStar, and not always the same for everyone, but definitely for a lot of us, housing is the main focus. Just like everybody has their own ideas as far as uh, what they consider the right kind of housing. There's those that focus on big builds. Um, some have to have a whole backstory for their plot, especially those that do the role playing scene. They usually have well thought out as far as the purpose of the plot, who's going to be using it, how it ties into other plots of theirs, that kind of thing. Some of us just like imitating what we see in real life or our favorite books or movies. Others try to be super realistic as far as what they see in game. They try to bring in a chunk of that into their plot. Others just make up whatever comes to mind. Um, but as I said, there are those that focus on full plot kind of builds. Then there's those that are like me and we're more into the smaller projects. I think it just depends. For me, there's no right or wrong way to do the housing. If the small little projects are your fave, if you like just focusing on, like say you want to just do paintings or cars or something like that, and not worry about having to deal with landscaping and that kind of stuff, hey, go for it. That's what interests you and makes you happy. I don't see a problem with it. If you're into the major builds where you make the most of that 2500 decor and not spend it on little goofy details like this, go for it. I'm more about, I think, not being as mindful as I probably should be on decor count. I just keep going with the details. Hey Aurora, good morning. I'm glad you could join. Okay, so we got the stones laid out for the little pond thing. There's still plenty of space between. A little snug here, but I don't think that's too much of an issue. Okay, so now we're going to be looking at like what kind of plants we want to use. Yeah, me too, boy. It's like sometimes you'll see things like someone will think of a new way to do something like with the water. using that upside down chalice. The first time someone did that, it was super clever, and it was only to be expected that others would try to use the same concept. So I know there's some builders out there that come up with a new trick and they keep it to themselves, or they only exclusively tell their best buds or something. And uh, so they kind of like cling to those trade secrets with a iron grip, because they don't want to share it. They want to be a unique and individual as opposed to everyone else. And that's great. That's fine if that's the way they want to do it. When it comes to something that I make, I'm more than happy to share it, because I know some idea that I have probably isn't as fleshed out as it could be. So I know there's someone out there that will take one of my ideas and just expand on it. And that's what I like. I like inspiring others to kind of build upon those ideas that I throw out there. Um, it's like the painting things. I don't think I was one of the first to do it. Let me say, I don't think I was the first to do a painting, but I was among the first that really brought it to the forefront. And I'm delighted to see that other people have picked up on that and used their own creativity in expressing through that. And they've done some like fantastic work as compared to mine. So it doesn't bother me when people are asking me, well, how did you do that? That's why I go out of my way to point out, okay, this is what I used, this is how I use it, this is why I used it, so that people can kind of use my ramblings as a stepping stone, a starting block. Um, but there's always going to be the tendency where some new feature will be used, or decor will be utilized in an unusual way, and people will replicate that. And I know some kind of get offended because they feel like they're being copied, but others, I think, like me, take it as uh, a compliment that they would, try to make something similar. But what drives me the most is those that go beyond that and add on to it and make it even better. I wish I could do that, but it's usually just me. I have an idea, and it's like I'll just throw it out there, and then someone else will take it and run with it and make it so much better. And I like that kind of stuff. But again, I don't think there's any kind of right or wrong way to do it. It's like the whole debate about the faux window doors and faux buildings. There's a group of builders that think that's just the wrong thing to do. You shouldn't have any kind of faux anything on your plot, because I guess it's, I don't know, disappointing for some visitors to come and find out that all the doors that are there, they can't open all of them. From a different perspective, I think they're more than permissible, because again, it's a way of getting past the decor limits, while still giving the illusion that there's more to the plot than there actually is. So I'm of the mindset that, you know, maybe not make the entire plot faux, but I can understand where in some instances, especially like city plots and things like that, that they have their purpose. It's like the trees. A lot of people don't want to do their own custom trees because, one, it eats up a lot of decor to make those things. Um, that's another reason why I like the small projects. For a larger build, it's probably not practical to make a bunch of your own stuff like this. So yeah, there's all kinds. And again, like Boy said, it's great to see everyone's ideas, and to uh, just focus on that diversity, not just of the different materials that they're using, but the way they're putting the same materials together. Again, I could give a handful of items to 10 different people and say, make something out of that, and they would each come up with something different. So I like that kind of stuff. It's one of my fave things about housing. Okay, so plants. Let's see, plants. Let's go to bushes. Let's grab some of them ferny things. That I want to place. I'm also going to grab some green pillows. Now, I know there's the actual lily pads that you can get. Again, if you're going for more realistic type of water features, your best bet is to go to the uh, where is that thing? The waterfall pack. It comes with a lot of different kinds of greenery that you would expect, like the lily leaf or longleaf, whatever they call them. It even comes with some critters that work great. A lot of the different cattails, that kind of stuff. Again, though, for someone like me that tends not to buy the stuff off of the auction, the cash shop all that frequently, I tend to look for ways of making things that are similar, but are custom. So for this round, mainly I'm looking at how the grass is sticking into the rock there. It's a little weird. What did you just realize? Oh no! That's why you should save them off of the thing, Aurora. Yeah, exactly. Again, it's not like a major divide. There's just some people that feel like it's not a good thing to have faux buildings. But you know, as people get into housing and they become a little bit more appreciative of what's actually going into building some of these things, it's like that was one of the things that was frustrating when they did some tours. The Carbine team did some house tours in the past, and they'd ooh and ah over, in my opinion, the wrong things. They would like talk heavily about the fab kits that they saw someone using on their plot, and then they'd walk right past a custom refrigerator or something, for example. And I would be like, no, you need to be looking at the thing that they made. But that's partly because I think those newer to WildStar that don't play it or get into housing as much, they just don't realize that what things are actually custom and which things aren't. And so they kind of admire the wrong stuff. That's one of the reasons why I like doing the tours myself, because then I can do my best to try and point out those things that really deserve some extra attention, those little details that a lot of people just walk right on past. But yeah, Aurora, that's I feel for you because I had that happen with some sets in the past. That's why I got into the habit of saving mine to um, Word documents. It doesn't work for large sets, obviously, because you can only export, import up to a certain size. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Sorry to hear that. See, that's another reason why I've been kind of avoiding the color shifted stuff, because if you create it, even if you have it in the the thing forgets that it's got it. I don't know. Okay, so anyway, Black Valentine's. Well, that's kind of depressing. A black one. So I'm looking into making my own lily pads, I guess is the best term. Not exactly sure if this will work right, but I'm going to try it anyway. Gotta be frustrating though. There's no way to recover it at all, I guess. Trying to figure out. Like lily pad has a special looking thingamabob, doesn't it? Like a little split, and it's kind of round. I don't know if this will work or not. What in the world? Well, that's looking on the bright side. Me, I often use similar things, so I always make a copy. Plus, I never know if I'm going to end up giving it to somebody, so I kind of keep it on hand. Usually my main motive, I guess. This is looking like a really disturbed looking lily pad. And this is why most people don't bother doing this like I am. Not working right. Let me try it this way. Uh, like this. Start fresh here. That is kind of weird. So you're saying to you it looks black, but to other people it's the right color. Odd. Mhm. It still seems weird though. Almost looks like a heart. Not quite what I'm going for there. Let's see. Getting a little better looking, sort of. I think that's about as close as I'm going to get it. Hmm. Well, I wouldn't know about that kind of stuff. I'm really bad about. I leave all that kind of technical junk to my husband. And let's see. I want some kind of a. I've got a reference here, but I can't really tell. I know it's got some kind of flowers, but I'm not sure what color that is. Well, I look at the forms too, but like my problem is I'll like Google up and then there'll be like three different solutions and then they're like, well, you need to do this and edit that and go into your DDoS and blah and remove this file and say and it's like because that's like dangerous stuff for me to get into it. So like I said, I leave that all to my husband. As long as I can push the button and the thing comes on, we're good. If it does anything out of the ordinary, I like freak out. Like lately, it's been asking to do some kind of. I've got like a Raptor mouse, so it like brings up a little thing. Do you want to do this? And I like panic, and I'm like, oh, am I supposed to push this button? Or my husband thinks I'm kooky, but I can't help it. I know the results if I start tinkering with that stuff. It blows up and I kill it. It's like I go into a panic when something goes wrong with OBS when I'm trying to stream. If like the sound goes off, it's like, uh-oh, I'm in big trouble because I have no idea how to get it back working without, a long amount of messing with it. Okay, so those are some lily pads. Let's see. Want some kind of flower, but I'm not sure. Maybe just the white, called white. It's probably not white. Tall, maybe. Maybe it's just called flower. No flower or something, I think. Yeah. Let's drink that and tuck it in a little bit. I don't know. Is it supposed to be like right on the little deal or is it like above it, kind of? I'm so not into the. I don't know if it's like supposed to be there or in the middle or. I guess it's more in the middle. I don't know. Some pictures have it in the middle, some have it on the side, kind of a little bit of both. I guess it's just whatever I feel like. So I'm going to leave that there. I think that looks all right. I'm not going to put that with all of them. I want some of them a little different. So, and of course, I don't want them all the same size either. Whoops, wrong one. So let's see. Let's make that a little bit smaller. Something like that. Yeah, the yellow flower might work. I think you're talking about that blossom one. Okay, maybe it's not called blossom. Blooming. Yeah, the blooming pollen flower. That could probably work too. The only reason I don't normally use it is because it does cost renown, and if I'm not careful, I get kind of carried away and use too many. Yeah, that does pop against it pretty good, doesn't it? So that's a good option if you've got spare renown to doodle with. Again, I tend not to use it because of the renown costs. I'll just go with the white. Could maybe try color shifting this one. I do have plenty of, see, this is even 300, so see, I said that and I spent it anyway. But you could color shift it maybe. I got some spare thingies. Let me see. I don't know if that'll show up very good. That's a good color. Red. Is there an orange? Yeah, there's an orange. Eh. Yellow. There you go. There's a yellow one. Used for the tree. Oh, okay. You're talking about these here. Yeah, I guess that could work as well. Let's see. We'll just put one in. Shows some different options. It's really just whatever people decide to want to do. I like this one partly because it moves, so it helps gives the illusion that there's actually some movement down here as opposed to the everything being stagnant. Or, yeah, stagnant the word, I think. Yeah, see, that'll work too. I think it just depends on what you want. Let's see. Cattails, I think most of those are either craftable or just drops, I think. And I think most of them are brown, if I remember right. What is that in? Grasses? Yeah, I don't think there's any that are actually, but there are several. Um, the grasses. Yeah, there's the bulrush green that has the cattails on it if you're looking for a green version. There's this one, it's more of kind of like I consider it more like a swampy kind of thing. It's brown. And then these are even more brown, like dead. cattails version. But I think those are craftable. Let me see. Yeah. So you'd have to craft some up if you specifically want the cattails things. Trying to think if there's a way you could like custom it, but I don't think so. I can't think of anything that looks like the little hot dog deal. um, you might could get away with maybe like say using the dynamite sticks from the fireworks set and just color shifting that, possibly. Like oh, where's it? This one here, and color shifting it. I'll see that none of that looks like brown because the rust. Look at that; it like turns into a bright red for some reason. Maybe that one. Weird. Maybe trying to think. I don't know. Can't think of anything that could really be used and have the color the right. Because obviously this red thing doesn't shift very good. This looks worse. I know we have like the leafy stalks. What did I close that for? I think there's the leafy stalks. Those look good for if you're wanting some kind of like a bamboo-y, like if you're going for an Asian pond kind of thing, some kind of bamboo. These work good. If you're really wanting to try something custom, the only thing I could think of that might work is if you use the skinny waisted barrels. All right, Bones, you have a good day. The gray option, you think? I don't know. Let me look. See, it mostly just changes that little hues. Can't even tell. That doesn't look black and white to me at all. It just looks red. It's the fuse that's getting the most attention, I think. You see it's kind of green there. Anyway, what I was going to say is the skinny waisted barrel might work, depending on how you use it. The grasses section. It's got this little emblem here, but if you can get past that, I think having these, several of them stacked up, and if you bend it a little bit, it not only make maybe some decent bamboo of a yellowish color, but also maybe even the base of a nice palm tree kind of thing. Something like that. Let's see. Still need something more solid to cover this up because that's bothering me. I can see that bright green there. I wanted those. Well, let's see. I think I have one in. Apparently not. Put one of those out. Put one of these out. those out. This one's a good one, I think. And I'm gonna the brownish merg dynamite 2 sandwiched together. I don't know. You talking about for a bamboo? That might make a good cattail though. I don't know, that's kind of weird, isn't it? It's got that weird ball. And this is one of those items that doesn't want to. Is that what you mean? It looks a little weird. And for some reason that does not center right, does it? Like it's off a little bit. This looks too metallic to me. It looks more like railing and stuff. Okay, so I'm going to try and fill this in a little bit so it's not showing any of that bright green. That's true. And when you playing around with different items, again, you see me toss out stuff and then sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes it spurs other ideas. It just depends what you're doing. Like, that is the weirdest looking thing ever right there. What is that? Looks like a hole. It's really dark. Doesn't make good like the putt-putt park holes for the balls. Look at that. Looks like a hole. We're just gonna sneak some of these in here. I like those pretty pink flowers. I think it was Tiki that started using these. They put theirs more down to the surface though, I think, but I like having it up a little bit. Oh, I know what's bugging me. It's like, why? There we go. Excuse me. See you later, Poi. Thanks for dropping by. I'm not going to be hanging on too much longer myself. It's already been about an hour, I think. Just going to tech, check out a few more of these pieces to see if they are going to make good, excuse me, water elements at all. That was This looks weird. Like a swamp monster or something. Kind of hollow, isn't it? Ooh, that'd make a cool little weird moony sunny thing for a painting though. Or a fun pattern on the wall. Creepy, weird. I will mention there have been people that have used this plant for like a water. They'll lay it out a certain way because it's got the animation going for it. Works pretty good for like waterfalls and stuff like that. Here's another yellow plant you could use maybe for a bud. I prefer this one because it's got the little dangly things there, but this is an alternative. And it does move, so you still get that little bit of animation if you want it. Kind of looks like one that's closed and one that's open, doesn't it? A little more. The lily leaf. Again, if you're looking for something with a little motion, this might work as a tall water plant. Probably make a decent tree with that too. Might be something I'd try later. So I think later we'll add some more of these over here, and then I'm gonna fill up more. I want all of this to be with some kind of greenery or something, I think, just to kind of break that up a little more. And that'll be something we'll probably work on tomorrow. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, you guys. Thanks for dropping by. I know, again, it seems like really didn't do too much. We just kind of chatted mostly, but hopefully give you some ideas again for your own projects and stuff. I didn't get a chance to get into game too much over the weekend. In fact, I don't even think I logged in at all until this morning. So if any of you reached out to me over the weekend about getting a copy of the cottage so that you can participate in this month's CBDC, I will try and get back to you ASAP. But if you haven't reached out yet, but you are interested, now's the time to do it because we got just, I think it's right at about a week because the showcase is on the 28th. So you still got time. You're going to be pushing it if you're really going to be doing anything fancy. But if you're just more interested in just getting a hold of the house and doing a little decorating inside, a week should be plenty of time. So I say should be. Probably will be enough time, depending on how much game time you put in anyway. But it's still open, you know, if you want to give it a try. If not, always remember to join us at the first of the next month to see what next month's theme is. I haven't even actually given it any thought yet, so I'm totally not prepared. But which reminds me, maybe some of you have noticed I haven't been doing the Friday freebie. I didn't do it last week or the week before that. Partly that's because we really haven't been getting a lot of people interested in and participating. It's been like 2, maybe 3 a week at the most. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the last few codes that I have from that, and I'm going to reserve them for our 100th House Tours episode, which is set for sometime in April. So if you didn't get a chance to get one of those decor packs um, of the Winterfest stuffs, be sure and keep an ear and an eye open for our. It basically is going to be our 2-year anniversary for streaming and our 100th House Tours episode, kind of at the same time. So I'm hoping to get a hold of some other stuff in addition to those codes, but I think I'm going to keep them for that. So if I do any Friday freebies, it'll be for some different kinds of little sets. Maybe like, for instance, I might give out the bed or something for those that might be interested in it. So again, it's not that I've forgotten about it necessarily. It's just I didn't think there was enough people that were asking for it. They seem to like the actual sets themselves rather than the codes for whatever reason. So I'm going to stick with doing the sets every now and then. I'm not going to promise we'll do it every Friday. I'm going to try, but it just depends on all the extras that I have on hand. I don't want to just start making junk just for Friday's giveaway. Um, I want it to be more like something that we worked on in the past week or so to give out on that Friday. So anyway, if you don't want to join for anything else, though, be sure and drop by for Wednesday's house tours. I believe it's NA's turn this time, so that should be fun. I think it's NA. Again, I'm so confused with my own schedule. I can't keep track. But tomorrow we'll be back here to mess with more of the pond. Wednesday we'll have the tours, and then Thursday and Friday we'll probably be back to this gobbledygook. I really need to start kind of finalizing what I'm going to be doing so that mine's actually ready for next for the showcase. Gosh, I can't think. Anyway, so thanks guys for joining. I hope you have a really good day, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.